Hello everyone, I am Dr. Daria, again here with Dr. Michael Breus, known as the Sleep Doctor.
That's me.
He is Dr. Oz's sleep guru. He's now my favorite one. You will read from him in Mom Hacks, which if you're watching this, you have bought, so thank you.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. We wanted to talk about some of our favorite tips, and especially in this second segment, talking really about prevention. In the third segment, we'll talk about troubleshooting when you can't sleep, but what are those things to do in the first place, aka getting rid of all the obstacles that get in the way of our sleep as moms. We talked in the first segment about the kids, which we can't get rid of.
Right, no.
That's looked badly upon.
Yes.
But what are some other kind of like external things? So we're going to talk about that.
So there's a couple of different things to think about. So one of my first ones is what I call the on-call method. So you're a doc, you know what this means is...
I know on-call too well.
Right, so historically on-call when you're a doctor is you're responsible on a particular night for calls through a 24-hour cycle, right? That's kind of how it goes, and you get to sleep kind of in between the calls. Well, if you're fortunate enough to have a partner, a parent, a loved one, a spouse, or something like that with you, then guess what? It's time to pass the baton, right?
Yes.
Nobody can survive completely on their own. It just doesn't work.
This is such a good point. And I have a friend who's like, I don't trust anybody else with my child. I just have to tell them, those moms, like, you're a great mom.
Right.
But you are, as we mentioned in the last segment, nobody is superhuman.
Right.
Get somebody that you trust.
Yeah. And even if you don't have somebody in your life, consider a night nurse, something. You've got to get some sleep. You're just not superhuman. You might be a super mom, right? But you're not superhuman.
Exactly.
And you've got to get some rest. So having times where you're not responsible during the evening is definitely step number one.
Love that.
Step number two for moms, sleep when your baby sleeps. Okay, like seriously. I mean, it shouldn't sound like it's too complicated, but in a lot of cases it is.
And we kind of guilt moms, like, you didn't do the laundry today, and then moms talk about my house looks a mess.
Like, who cares?
Exactly. We're not talking for the next 8 years.
Right.
We're talking especially during that fourth trimester when baby really needs you and is just like on you all the time.
Right.
You need some space, and when you have that,
absolutely,
spend it on you, not on laundry.
Absolutely, exactly, and don't worry about those other types of activities. Number one, call a house cleaning service if that's what you need to do. Like if you can do that. But I mean, again, sleep when your baby sleeps because you are sleep deprived, and that's certainly something you need to think about.
Okay.
The next thing you want to do is look at your environment.
Yes, this is what I call the sleep space audit.
Exactly.
We don't realize how many things we have in our rooms, from light, and we'll get into each of them, and noise and all these things. I did it myself because I'm really sensitive. My husband can fall asleep. He could fall asleep like here while we're talking. Right. It's so unfair. I can't. And so I had the lights all off in my room today, and I still looked, and I had the cable box was blinking, and I had the alarm and the smoke detector. And studies show even when you're asleep, your brain can detect that, which confirms that moms have eyes
in
through
the back of their head.
Yes, exactly. And we can see with our eyes closed. So let's talk about the sleep space audit.
Sure. So here's what I do is I think of the five senses and I look around the bedroom.
Yes.
Okay, so sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. Right? So sight is light.
Yes.
Right? And so just like there's junk food, there's junk light. Right? And people need to kind of think about that idea. And all of the light that surrounds us has got blue in it.
Especially with the new LED lights, even worse.
Even worse. Now, what does blue mean? It doesn't mean the color blue. Okay, so there's a spectrum of light.
Good differentiation.
Right, and so people are like, a lot of people say to me like, well, is there actually blue light that I, no. It's white light, there's a blue tint to it, especially with the LED lights. But if you look at the spectrum between 450 and 480 nanometers, you don't have to know that number, that actually affects something very particular in your eyeball. You have certain cells in your eye called melanopsin cells, which turn off the melatonin faucet when that light hits it. We want that melatonin faucet turned on when we're trying to go to sleep.
Yes. And what people don't realize is light is the most important regulator of that melatonin. Zeitgebers, the things that impact your circadian rhythm.
Right. So when you start to think about your exposure to light at night, it becomes very important that you don't want blue light at night.
No.
But how on earth do you do that? I mean, look, we've got our phones, we've got tablets, we've got laptops, people are using electronics, and let's be honest.
Hours.
Right. I always tell people do an electronic curfew 90 minutes before bed. I mean, really, nobody does it, right? And so what can you do to do something like that? So I've got a solution right here.
We have a solution.
So these are blue light blocking glasses, and these are actually a line that I helped create.
I love them. I have my own pair. I feel like we're the men in black.
Absolutely. A little on the Elvis Costello side, kind of back in the day.
Yes.
But here's the truth.
Wait, hold on. We have to point out that everybody can get this. Everybody who has bought the book has access. Get 50% off of these. I love them. You can buy a lot. We have to say there's a bunch of other. Maybe I should take these off. And y'all take me seriously. There's a lot of cheaper like knockoffs online, but that's why I wanted people to find this. And so Sleep Dr. 5. So Sleep DR5
is the code.
It's a code for 50% off, and you go to
sleepdoctorglasses.com.
But all of that, y'all got an email. Go to drdaria.com/momhacks. Enter that you got the book, and how you were able to watch this webinar, and you'll find the exact code and the links there.
Yeah, no problem. And so why do we have glasses that are different than other people's glasses? So one of them is the lens. So I searched long and hard. I couldn't find a lens that I liked. So I actually went and we actually found, it's called a C39. It's a very particular high grade lens. So that is one of the aspects. Also, you get access to my newsletters and my courses.
Yes, so it's not just the glasses that you get. You get a whole sleep solution. So y'all go check these out.
It's a little bit different.
And I use these. I know as moms, like you mentioned, after I put the kids to bed is often my time to do work. So I try to do two things. One is I try to prioritize at that point things that don't require a device. So if there is a blog piece that I need to be working on, I will print it out and I try to read it there. Or if there's a book that I've been wanting to get through on writing a book or things like that, I will try to do those things at that hour. But then if you don't, because sometimes you got to get on the computer, you got to email, do things. I put on my blue light blocking, my sleep doctor glasses.
There you go.
My husband is used to seeing me in them. My daughter thinks they're hilarious.
Yeah, so I even make my children wear these, and that's kind of
really
cool for moms who've got a little bit older kids. So I've got 2 teenagers, and the reason that I have my kids do them is they're on computers all day, and then at night, what are they? They're on Facebook, or they're on YouTube, or they're on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever.
The Twitter.
Right, the Twitter. So they're on all of that. And there's blue light that's raging into their eyeballs.
And kids are even more sensitive to it.
They are, and they have eye strain, right? And these help reduce eye strain. So there's a lot of reasons why blue light blocking glasses make a lot of sense.
Love it. So we talked about your sleep audit. We talked about light.
Let's talk about sound.
Yes.
So it turns out that the quieter it is in your bedroom, the more acute your hearing becomes. So if anybody out there's ever experienced this where you say it's too quiet to sleep, that's because your ears are really now listening. It's okay to have a little something that's going on. I'm the only sleep doctor in the universe that says it's okay to sleep with the television on.
I know. I have never heard anyone. Now people ask him, like, well, Dr. Michael Breus says that it's okay.
Exactly. So here's what we've learned.
But there's some rules around it.
There are, absolutely. So here's what we've learned about this. Is the truth of the matter is most people don't actually watch it, they listen. And that's why we're talking about it when we're talking about sound. Because what ends up happening is eyes closed, I'm listening to the television out of what I call the corner of your ear. It's just enough of a distraction because all of your thoughts are coming flooding in. Oh my gosh, did I get diapers? Did I do this? Did I do that? Do I need to call the school? All this stuff happens because it's the only time of day that nobody's asking you to do anything, right? So all of this stuff comes flooding in and you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh.
Although to that point, that's why I tell people during the day, have 5 minutes of phone-free time during the day. If you go to the bathroom, don't take your phone. If you're in line at the grocery store, don't pull out your phone because otherwise, if you're constantly filling with distraction, that time right before bed is the only time you have to process and reflect, and that's when those thoughts come up. So I totally
agree with that. I like that. That's a good hack.
Thank you. I tend to like
hacks.
A
couple of them are out there.
Like, nice play there.
Thank you. Touch is the next one. So have a comfortable environment, right? And so first of all, a lot of people sleep with babies in the bed, which there's pros and cons in either direction. There's some cultural aspects to it as well. I can tell you what we did. We had a Moses basket in between the two of us where my son was able to sleep. And that was fine because we weren't worried about rolling over on him or anything like that. But
it's important because the American Academy of Pediatrics says it can be what you want your child within arm's length, but essentially you want them out of harm. So a Moses basket or a bassinet near you or things like that.
Bassinet
not
the
just
best.
Loose in the bed. Because
absolutely
that's
not.
Due to the SIDS risk and everything else, you do not want that.
There's too many reasons not to have a child loose in your bed, right? So absolutely, basket, bassinet, what have you. The other thing to think about is you don't know what your child's allergies might be. So thinking about things like, do you have feather pillows on there? You know, maybe replacing it with synthetic down or making sure that your sheets are clean. I actually would recommend, there's a special detergent for babies called Dreft that moms use for their clothes. If you have a baby that is in or near your bed, you should be washing your sheets.
Your own sheets.
In the Dreft as well.
That's good. All right, in our last couple of minutes, we've talked about light, noise, touch.
Yep.
Want to get to our last two? Yeah,
absolutely. So smell, right? So smell's big for babies. And the smell isn't lavender aromatherapy, which by the way actually works. But you shouldn't use it on babies. but mom smell, right? And so mom emits a smell that baby knows and gets instantly comfortable with. So rotating between mom and somebody else is important for the baby to be able to discern.
So they don't get dependent on you, which is good, because that's so hard when you see a mom that's like, I'm the only person that baby's comfortable with and not crying with, and it puts even more pressure on mom. So start early.
Exactly. So what I do is I call it passing the baton. So mom is here, we're getting close to baby's sleep time. Pass the baby to somebody else and have somebody else put the baby down, right? The baby needs to get used to different hands, different smells, different temperatures to be able to get down into their
And they can do skin to skin. Skin to skin is good if it's dad or a partner or somebody else loved one. Great way to bond and again take that pressure off mom. Okay, our fifth one really quickly.
Taste. So when we're talking what does taste possibly have to do with it?
So I should be snacking in bed is what you're saying.
So it's about nutrition, right? So one of the classic problems that moms have is they're dehydrated and they don't have enough nutrition to get for the fuel to get them through their days. So a big factor that I'm always talking about with moms is drink water, drink a ton of it. By the way, the milk is depriving you and depleting you of hydration.
Exactly.
Like your body has drink 3 times the amount of water that you think you need to drink, and you might get close to
Which is what I tell people, drink
hydrated.
half of your weight in ounces. So if you weigh 140 pounds, you want to drink about 70 ounces of water a day.
Right.
Really rough rule of thumb.
Right. And for moms, especially breastfeeding moms, I would even increase that a little bit.
Yeah, of course,
right?
even more so. That's
because
for
there's
just normal
so
non-breastfeeding.
so much hydration is leaving the body. And also make sure that you don't go to bed hungry. Right? Eat during the day. So many moms that I talk to, they're doing everything for everybody else. They forget to eat a meal. They get in bed, their stomach is rumbling. You can't fall asleep. So maintain your own health, nutrition, and hydration.
Always so important. And a great snack before bed, fruits, veggies, a little bit of hummus, something not super heavy. So
I would say a 250 calorie snack, about 70% carbs and about 30% protein, right? So cheese and crackers, apple with some nut butter on it, even non-sugar cereal, be a great idea.
There you go, a little bit more milk. All right, y'all, I'm Dr. Daria. I'm here with Dr. Michael Breus. We are talking mom hacks. Coming up is our third segment, troubleshooting those times when you cannot fall asleep. So stay tuned.